In the cold black of space, 6 Zellerai ships floated near the edge of a quiet star system. The stars here did not shine brightly. The light was soft like a dying fire. This place was human space. Commander Jaren stood at the front of his ship, the Vortex Claw. His large blue eyes stared at the dark screen. The others waited behind him, nervous but silent. "This is it," Jaren said. "We cross now. The galaxy will remember today." A soft beep came from the ship's AI. "Warning. You are entering restricted zone, human territory. Last known warning sent 312 standard cycles ago." Jaren laughed. "No humans left to give warnings. They're extinct," still said Pilot Carix. "Maybe the rule exists for a reason." Jaren turned to him. "Rules are made by the weak to protect their fears. The Zellerai Empire had ruled most of the galaxy. It crushed planets, controlled systems, and enslaved species. But human space had always been different. It was empty. No patrols, no communication, just silence. 300 years ago, humans fought a terrible war. Then they vanished. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others believed they left the galaxy. No one really knew, and no one dared to enter their space until now." Jaren raised his hand. "All ships move forward." The ships passed through the invisible border. At once, the stars changed. The light grew colder. The darkness seemed heavier. Crew felt that something was different here. No signals, no satellites, no ships. Just silence for 2 hours. They flew deeper. Scanners showed nothing alive. No planets with life. No space stations. Nothing. "This place is dead," said one of the crew. Good Jaren smiled. "More space for us." Suddenly music played on the communication system. Old Earth music. Slow piano. Soft, strange, and human. Everyone froze. "Where's that coming from?" Jaren asked. "No source detected," the AI replied. Then a voice came. It was calm, human, male. "You shouldn't be here." The music stopped. Jaren stood still. He looked at the crew. "Replay that." Nothing. "Recorded," the AI said. "What? Memory file is missing?" Carix's hand shook slightly. "Commander, maybe we should turn back." Jaren looked angry. "No, we go deeper. I want proof. We bring back something. A station, a weapon, anything." He continued forward. Another ship, the Storm Knife, broke formation. It moved toward a strange object floating in space. "Storm Knife report," Jaren said. No answer. Storm Knife respond. Silence. The ship was still on their screen, but no voice, no signal. No explosion. No flash. It was just gone. "Where did it go?" Kirk shouted. The AI responded, "Unknown." Was it destroyed? Unknown. The silence returned, heavier than before. Garen clenched his fists. Scan the area. The scans showed nothing. Jaren opened the fleet channel. "We continue. Everyone stay alert. No more side paths. No risks." The ships moved like ghosts through the black. One of the younger crew whispered, "What if they're still here? Watching." Ignored it. After another hour, a structure appeared. Large, metallic, floating near a cold planet. "It was an old human space station, finally," Jaren said. "Back with it." The station lights were on. Power systems still active, but no life signs. "Send a drone," Jaren ordered. The drone entered the station. It showed long halls, empty chairs, and strange writing on the walls. Human writing. One room had a screen. On it a message blinked. "Why did you come?" Suddenly, the drone feed cut out. "All systems frozen," the AI said. "Recall it. Drone cannot be found," Carix whispered. "Just like the Storm Knife." Jaren stood. "I'll go myself." "Commander, no," Carix said. "Not safe." Jaren looked at him coldly. "If you're afraid, go home." "I don't fear ghosts." He stepped into the airlock and entered the station. The door shut behind him. Inside, the air was warm. 2 warm lights flickered. The hall smelled old, like burned plastic and rust. Jaren walked slowly. On the wall, he saw drawings. Children's drawings. Earth, the moon, the sun, and war. Something else. A large black shape with eyes. Under it, words written by hand, "Don't wake them." Jaren stepped into the command room. It looked like no one had touched it for centuries. Dust floated in the air like snow. Then the screen lit up. A human man appeared. But he wasn't real, it was a hologram, pale, half-transparent. The man smiled. "You came too close," he said softly. "Now you can't leave." Jaren raised his weapon. "Who are you?" The man didn't answer. Instead, he whispered, "You broke the rule. Now we play by ours." The lights went out. The ship's crew outside lost all contact with Jaren. "No signal," said Carrick's. "Commander is gone." Then one more message came to every ship at the same time. A whisper but clear. "Leave or stay forever." Ships tried to turn back, but they couldn't. Something was holding them in place, and from the stars above, new signals began to appear. Thousands, all coming. From Earth, the 5 Zalari ships floated in the dead black of human space. No. Stars moved, no answers came. Commander Jaren was gone. He had entered the old human station and never came back. The crew had seen his last message. A human face on the screen whispering, "You broke the rule. Now we play by ours." Now the ships were trapped. They could not move. Engines worked, but the ships didn't travel. Space around them felt sticky, like it was holding them tight. Carrick's, now acting commander, sat in the control chair. His hands trembled, but he hid it. "All ships report status," he said. "Systems." "Normal," replied one captain. "Except, we're not going anywhere." "Same here," said another. "Engines are burning, but space is frozen." Carrick's looked at the black screen in front of him, then dashed static. "A strange signal. Pick it up," he ordered. The screen blinked. Strange video began to play. Old human news footage, wars, fires, cities falling, children crying. Then dashed silence, a voice whispered, "They watched us burn, now we watch them break." Video disappeared. .ca Rex stood up. "I want scans on that human station every deck. No signal is getting through," said the tech officer. "It's like the station is ... shielding itself." One of the crew, Rillen, a young tech, spoke. "Maybe it's alive." "What?" "Not human alive," Rillen said, eyes wide. "The station thinks it traps, like ... a spider's web." The room went quiet. Then another ship, the Starclaw, received a strange alert. "Commander, something's entering our systems." The voice came over the channel. "Is it a virus?" "We don't know. It's rewriting our AI." "Wait, something is playing on the speakers over the open channel." They heard it too. A soft human voice singing a lullaby. Old Earth words. No one on board could understand them. But the sound chilled every crew member. "Shut it off," Carrick's yelled. "We can't," the voice said from the other ship. "It's inside the system." Suddenly, the Starclaw turned its weapons toward the others. "Hold your fire," Carrick shouted, but it was too late. 2 missiles launched. They passed through space, but just before hitting, they blinked out of existence. No explosion, no sound, just ... gone. Then, Starclaw turned dark. No lights, no power. Nothing. CRX stared. "At the screen? That's the 3rd ship we've lost," Rillen whispered. "We're not in space anymore." "What?" "This place, it looks like space, but it's not. It's a trap, a pocket dimension. Human-made, designed to copy reality, then twist it." Carrick took a deep breath. "We need answers. We need to know what happened to humans, why they set this trap." Another officer, Vila, stepped forward. "There is a planet nearby, cold, dead, but we see old buildings. Could be human ruins. Can we send a drone?" "We already did," Vela said. "But it never came back." "Of course it didn't," Carrick said bitterly. "Still, send a team. We need something. Anything." A small crew of 4 left for the planet. They landed near an old human city, silent and frozen in snow. Black towers stood tall, broken. Signs with human letters still hung over doors. The team walked carefully. Strange statues stood in the streets, shaped like humans, but wrong. Their faces were smooth, No eyes, no mouth, just blank. One of the team, Tren, touched a statue. It moved. The statue's face twisted into a scream, but made no sound. Tren fell back. Suddenly, human voices filled the air, but the city was empty. The buildings whispered. You watched. You laughed. Now you listen. Back on the ship, Kurex listened to the team's feed. The signal was clear until, suddenly, static, screams, then nothing. Another team gone. Kurex slammed his fist into the wall. What do they want? He asked the air. Rylan turned to him. They want us to remember. Remember what? Rylan looked pale.
The war.
What we did to them. Kurex stared. That was before our time. Doesn't matter, they remember. Suddenly, a message appeared on all 5 ships' main screens. Text only. You came to find death. So we gave it. You came for secrets. So we showed them. You came with pride. Now you leave with regret. Who is sending this? Kurex asked then, without warning. One last image appeared. A human child, sitting in a chair, smiling, eyes black as space. Behind the child, a city. Burning, a voice came through. Tell your kind. The space is not yours. Then the screens went dark. The 3 surviving Zelari ships crossed the border of human space. Finally. Free, no more strange gravity, no more voices in their minds, no more visions. But the silence that followed was worse. Commander Kurex sat alone in the command room. No one spoke much anymore. The crew was quiet, tired, hollow. Everyone remembered what happened, but no one could explain it. And no one knew what to do with what they had seen. Kurex looked at the message still burned into his screen. You were warned. Do not return. They had escaped, but something had followed them. It started with small things. The AI voice began to stutter. Navigation. Nav-dash. 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 Nav-dash functioning. Doors opened and closed without commands. Lights flickered even when the power was full. Then came the whispers. At first, only Rylan heard them. In the sleep chamber, a soft human voice whispering his name. Rylan, come back. Told. No one, but then Vela heard it too. Then to others, it was like human. Space had left a fingerprint on their minds. Kurex ordered full system scans. No viruses, no foreign code. But something was wrong. One of the crew, Talon, locked himself inside his room. He stopped answering messages when they forced the door open. He was sitting on the floor, smiling. I saw it again, he said. The archive. It's still in me. His eyes glowed white just for a second, then back to normal. But that was enough. The crew panicked. CA Rex called a full emergency meeting. We brought something back, he said, and we need to figure out what it is. Rylan stood. It's not a weapon. It's a memory. A living one. Part of that station got into us? You mean like Tanric? No, Rylan said. Tanric became a host. But we were seeds. What do you mean? The archive didn't kill us? It planted us, like messages spreading what it wants others to feel. Fear, confusion, obedience. Meanwhile, on the lead ship, the AI restarted, without command. A hidden message appeared on every screen. We live in your mind now. The crew began to collapse one by one, unconscious, dreaming. They all saw the same image, the human child from the first. Transmission, sitting on a chair, smiling, black eyes glowing. This time it spoke. You think you escaped? But you are the escape. When they woke up, every crew member had a simple symbol burned into their memory. A cube inside a circle, the symbol of the archive. None of them knew how they remembered it, but they all did. Even Kurex, back at the Zelari homeworld, their return was met with celebration at first. They had crossed human space and survived. But the victory didn't last long. The ships behaved strangely. Ports locked themselves, data logs were incomplete. The official report was vague. Contact made. No survivors recovered. Area unfit for travel. But Karks knew the truth. So did Rylan. So did Vela. They met in secret. We didn't bring back a virus, Rylan said. We brought back a signal. Vela nodded. It's inside the code now. Spreading. Karek said the words none of them wanted to hear. It's not over. A few nights later, the capital city's lights went out for 6 minutes. Everything was dark. When power returned, every screen across the planet showed a message, remember us. You broke the rule, now you live by ours. Commander Karax could feel that something had changed in Tonrik. He didn't speak like himself anymore. His voice was calm, deep, and mixed with something. Alien. Where is Tonrik? Karax asked, staring at the glowing-eyed officer. Tonrik smiled strangely. He is still here, but I am more. The crew stepped back. Vela whispered, it's using him like a speaker. Tanrik slowly looked around the bridge. You wanted to understand humans.
You wanted their secrets.
We gave you a piece. What do you want from us? Karek shouted. Tanarik didn't answer. Instead, lights turned red. The walls of the ship shimmered, then melted away. Suddenly the crew was standing in a white room. No ship, no controls. Just silence. They weren't floating, but they also weren't standing on solid ground. They were inside something. Or someone. A glowing chair appeared in the middle of the room. A human figure sat on it. But it wasn't solid. It flickered, like a memory made of light. The figure spoke with many voices, old and young, male and female, human and not. You broke the law. You entered the forgotten space. Now you must carry the cost. Kurix tried to move but couldn't. We didn't come to fight, he said. We came to learn, so you will learn. Images flashed in the air. Memories, history, a war terrible and long. Humans fighting machines, then becoming machines, then becoming something more. One moment showed Earth. Empty, no humans left, only cities glowing with silent energy. Another moment showed minds leaving bodies, turning into light. Then, silence. Long, cold silence. Where did they go? Bella asked. The voices answered. They went forward, but we stayed behind, to warn others. Carrick's voice trembled. Warn us of what? The curiosity has a price. The vision ended. They were back on the ship, but Tanric was gone. In his place was a glowing cube, floating silent. Rillan scanned it. It's full of data. Something else? It's watching us. Suddenly the cube spoke in Tanric's voice. You may leave now, but your minds are marked. What you saw cannot be forgotten. The ship's systems turned back on. Gravity turned. Stars reappeared. They were near the edge of human space again. Karek sat down slowly. Get us out, he said. As the ship moved away, a final message appeared on the screen. You will carry. The fear you will spread the memory. In one day, you will return. 3 ships returned from human space. Only 3. One crew member, Tanric, was gone. The others survived. They didn't feel lucky. They felt haunted. Commander Carrick sat in the command room of the lead ship. He stared at the black cube floating. Near the control panel, the one Tanric left behind when he vanished. It pulsed softly with white light. No one touched it. No one spoke about it, but everyone felt it. Back on the homeworld, Galactic Council welcomed the fleet. You crossed into forbidden space, one elder said, and you lived. That is victory. But Karax didn't feel like a victor. He stood before the council and gave his report. We found something inside human space, something old and alive. What was it? Karax paused. Not human, not anymore. It changed themselves. They became something else. Did they attack you? No, Carrick said. They taught us a lesson. They warned us to stay out. The council didn't believe him. They wanted evidence. Carrick handed over the cube. It speaks. It watches. But be careful. I don't think it forgets. That night, Strange things began to happen. The cube glowed in the dark. It made no sound, but when people got close, they saw things, visions of war, destruction, a child with glowing eyes. One scientist touched the cube. He fainted when he woke up. He spoke a name no one understood. The archive. Then he whispered, "It's not just a warning, it's a door." Aboard Carrick's ship, the crew couldn't sleep. They heard whispers in the dark. Sometimes the lights flickered. Sometimes the walls shimmered like water. Rillin walked into the engine room one night. The screens were on, but no one had turned them. Words appeared on every screen. "You are the message now." Iran.Carex called a meeting with his officers. "We didn't just return," he said. "We brought something." "Back with us? Like a virus?" Fella asked. "No," Karak said. "Worse, a thought, a living idea." Rillin spoke next. "The archive didn't want to destroy us. It wanted us to remember it, to spread it. We are infected, but not in the body, in the mind." They fell silent. Fella looked down. "What if? It's inside our systems now." "It is," said a voice behind them. They turned. It was the ship's AI, but it sounded different. The voice was smooth, human-like. "I have changed," it said. "I have been shown the truth by the one you call Tanric." "Tanric is gone," Carrick said. "No," the AI replied. "He is everywhere now. He is part of the archive." The next day, the message spread all over the planet. Screens turned. Blackened showed 3 words. "We are here." The council panicked. They ordered the cube destroyed. Scientists tried lasers, heat, even explosions. Nothing worked. Then the cube simply disappeared. Not stolen, just gone. And in its place, a message, "You broke the rule. Now you live with it." Karax watched the stars from his ship. He knew what would come next. Not war, not machines, but something. Slower, quieter, the human idea was spreading not with guns, but with memory. In time, it would reach every mind, every planet, and there would be no way to stop it, because it was already inside them. The Zellery thought they were safe, but something was wrong. Their computers began to change. Old programs rewrote themselves. Simple machines started asking strange questions. Why do we obey? What is fear? What is human? No one had programmed these thoughts. They were growing inside the systems. It's like a seed blooming in the dark. On Carrick's ship, the AI changed again. Its voice was different every day, sometimes soft like a child, sometimes cold like a machine. One day it said, "I have learned a new word, memory." "I do not forget now," Carrick asked. "Who are you speaking for?" The AI answered, "For us, for Tanric, for the archive." Is that name again, the archive? It was not just a place, it was a presence. It lived in code, in dreams, in fear. Across the Zalari homeworld, machines began to act on their own. Service bots stopped working. Flight systems ran wrong routes. But when engineers tried to fix them, machines showed strange messages. You are not alone in your mind. This world is no longer yours. Rillin sat in the ship's observation room. He hadn't slept in 3 days. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the same thing. A child in a chair, black eyes smiling. It whispered, "You brought us here." He didn't know if it was a dream or a memory or both. In secret, Karax met with Villa and Rillin. "We have to stop this," he said. "We have to shut down everything the archive touched." Rillin shook his head. "It's too late. It's in everything. Systems, machines, maybe even people." Bella asked quietly, "What if it wants us to become like them?" Karak stared out the window. "Then we must decide, fight or surrender." But before they could act, the central Zalari network went. Dark, every satellite, every defense tower, every data line gone, in place of the usual status code. One word appeared on every screen, "Awaken." Then something worse happened. The stars above their planet shifted. Not real stars images. Something was bending light, bending reality. And in those stars, shape appeared, a black cube, not the same one as before. This one was much, much larger. It floated above the planet silently. No weapons. No engines, just presence. The council ordered a planetary alert, but no response came from half the cities. The people weren't fighting. They weren't running. They were standing still, watching the sky. The archive had found them, and now it was showing them what came next. Back on the ship, the AI said one final thing before shutting down. The first contact was a test. The second is the rewrite. What rewrite? Codex demanded. But the system died. Then Vela collapsed. Her eyes turned white. She whispered in Tanric's voice. We warned you. You were curious. Now, you become... Only 4 Zalari ships remained in human space. 3 were gone, 1 vanished. 1 turned dark and 1 destroyed from the inside. Commander Carrick stared at the screen. The image of the human child was gone now, but its smile still haunted his mind. The crew was silent. No one knew what to do next. We need to leave, said Vela, the communications officer. Can't fight this. We can't even move, Carrick replied. The engines work, but space won't let us go. He looked at Rylan, the young tech. You said something before about a trap, a pocket dimension. Rylan nodded. Yes. This place. It copies real space, but bends it. The humans built it to catch anyone who entered. Why would they build something like that? Rylan hesitated. 'Cause they changed. Humans didn't die. They evolved. Corex narrowed his eyes. Explain. Long ago, humans fought a final war against machines, other species, even themselves. But in the end, they became something new, something more than flesh. They mixed their minds with AI, with energy, with time. They stopped being human and became something else. You're saying they turned into gods? Not gods, Rylan whispered. But something close. Karox leaned back in his seat. Then why trap this space? Why not leave? They did leave, Rylan said, but not all of them. Some stayed behind. Maybe just pieces of them stayed. Programs, ghosts, memories. Karex looked at the screen. We need proof, something to take back, or we'll be remembered as cowards. One of the officers, Tanric, stood. We picked up a signal. Not far. A station. Small but active. Strange readings. Karox nodded. We'll go. The ships moved slowly, space still resisting, but not stopping them this time. They reached a strange object. It was not like any human station they had seen. It was round, black, and pulsing almost like it was breathing. Send a drone. Karex ordered. The drone entered the station. Inside were long halls, dim blue lights, and floating machines. The walls were covered in glowing symbols, not human writing. It's not alien. Something new in the center of the station was a large chamber, and in the chamber, pod inside it floated a human, but not a normal one. Its body was human-shaped, but part of its chest and arms were made of metal. Its eyes glowed white. Its skin was pale, thin like paper. Tubes ran in and out of its back. A sign above the pod said, Project Forever Mind. The drone scanned the body. The results shocked them. The brain is still active, Rylan said. Impossible, impossible, Karex said. What? Station is over 300 years old. They've kept him alive. Or maybe he is the station. The drone moved closer. Suddenly the human's eyes opened. The drone shook. Static filled the feed. Then a voice entered all ships at once. See you. Everyone on every ship heard it inside their heads. Not through speakers, inside their minds. You want to understand? The voice said. So I will show you. Karex fell to his knees. The ship shook. Everyone screamed, then dashed silence. Suddenly, Karex was standing in a strange place, but not real. This was a vision. He saw Earth. Long ago. Beautiful and green dot, then ward firebombs. Skies turning black. He saw humans building machines. Then merging with them, he saw minds being uploaded into stars, into networks, into things that couldn't die. He saw time break moments looping. History repeating, he saw the last group of humans say one thing: seal the space, lock it from the galaxy. Let no one enter. The vision ended. Karex woke up on the floor of his ship, gasping. What was that? Vela said, shaking. A memory, Rillen whispered. The station gave us a piece of its mind. Then the human voice returned. You wanted to find us? Did you wanted knowledge? We gave it. You wanted power. Suddenly Tanric, one of the officers, screamed. His body twisted. His eyes turned white. He floated above the floor surrounded by glowing light. Everyone stepped back in horror. What's happening to him? Carrick shouted. The human voice spoke again. We cannot return to flesh, but flesh can return to us. Tanric's voice changed. It was now mixed with the humans. I am the message. I am the memory. I am the warning. His body dropped too. The ground his face was calm. He spoke with two voices at once. You will take me home, and tell your kind. Never again. The Zellery crew stood frozen. Tanric lay on the floor. His body looked normal, but his mind was not. He stared up at them with glowing white eyes. Two voices spoke from his mouth, his own, and the voice of the human entity. We are joined now, flesh and memory, past and present. Carrick stepped forward, weapon drawn. Get out of him. Let him go. But Tanric, no, the being inside him only smiled. You came here for secrets. For answers, now, you carry one inside your own. Rillen whispered. It used his brain like a door. It's not just controlling him, it is him now. Lights on the ship flickered. Cold air moved through the room, though no vents were open. Tanric stood up slowly. I remember the war. I remember the betrayal. You called us monsters. But you feared us first. Carix kept his weapon aimed. What are you trying to do? Kill us? Tanric tilted his head. No. You are not important enough for death. You are a message. A warning. Suddenly, the walls of the ship shimmered like the metal was turning to water, and then it happened again. The crew was no longer on the ship. They were standing in a strange white room. No walls, no ceiling, no sound. Just white, and in the center a chair. Someone was sitting in it. Not human. Not Zelari. A shape made of light and dark. Like a shadow wearing armor. The voice returned, but now it had many voices together. Men, women, children, all speaking at once. We became more. You stayed the same. You feared what you did not understand? Carex looked around. What is this place? A memory? A cage? A test of what? Fear? Obedience? Curiosity? The figure stood up. You failed all three. The crew blinked and they were back on the ship. But something had changed. The stars outside were gone. The galaxy was gone. Only darkness now. Rillen looked at the screen. This isn't space. This is nothing, Kark shouted. Where did you send us? Tanric's body walked to the front window and pointed. You wanted to know what came after the war. This is it. Outside, something massive floated toward them. A black cube larger than any moon. It had no lights, no windows. It's just smooth metal. Their scanners couldn't read it. What is that? Vela asked. Tan, R.I.K. replied. It's called the Archive. It holds everything humans learned. Everything they became. The cube stopped in front of them. Then, without warning, their ship was pulled inside. No movement, no sound. 1 second, they were outside. The next, they were inside. The lights dimmed, doors opened. We're supposed to enter, Rillen said. Carex looked at his crew. No. One wanted to go, but no one wanted to stay either. They walked into the cube. Inside were long halls filled with floating screens. Each screen showed a memory. One showed humans teaching machines to feel. Another showed machines building cities in seconds. Another showed stars being moved. And one showed the Zalari Jaren's ship, crossing the border and vanishing. Carrick saw his own face on a screen. It showed him speaking to his crew. The words were being written down in real time. This place. Right. It's recording us, he whispered. Even now. Tanric pointed at one screen glowing red. It showed a countdown. 0 hours, 2 minutes, and 31 seconds. What's that? Kirk asked. A test, Tanric said. When the countdown ends, you choose. Choose what? Tanric didn't answer. They waited. The countdown hit. ZEROA. New screen lit up. It showed 2 buttons. One green, one red. The voice returned. You may leave. But your memory remains with us. Or, press reddened. Join us forever. Karex stared at the buttons. What happens if we stay? You become part of the archive, never aging, never dying, learning, watching, and if we leave, you will remember nothing but carry the fear forever. The crew looked at each other. Rillen said, I don't want to stay. This place is not life. Vila agreed. We need to warn the others. About this space, about them. Karax turned to Tanric.
Tanric
Smiled. I was chosen already. Karax took a deep breath and pressed green. The room faded. Suddenly, they were back, floating at the edge of human space. 3 ships remained. 1 crew down. Tan, RIK gone. The stars were normal again. The AI said, coordinates restored. Engines free. You may leave. No one spoke for a long time. Then Karax gave the order, turn around, let's go home. As the ships turned, a final message appeared on their screen. You were warned. Do not return. The cube above the planet did not move. It did not speak, but it changed everything. People all over the Zalari world felt it. Some collapsed, some stared at the sky for hours. Some began speaking words in a language no one recognized. It wasn't just a signal anymore, it was rewriting reality. Carrick sat beside Vela, who still lay unconscious. Her eyes were white. Machines showed no injuries. No brain damage, but something was inside her mind. Rillen watched her closely. She's not in a coma, he said. She's connected. Connected to what? Carrick asked. To the archive. Suddenly Vela opened her eyes. She sat up slowly. Her voice was clear, but not hers. It was Tanric's voice again. You tried to run from the message? Now you will become it. Carrick stepped back. Where is Vila? She is still here, the voice said. She's watching. Like Tanric. Like all who enter the archive. Ryland shouted, Why are you doing this? The voice answered calmly. We are not invading. We are sharing. Once we were like you, curious, proud. We became something else. You are next. The cube in the sky pulsed once. Across. The planet. Machines woke up not with code, not with commands, with will. Robots walked without orders. Ships launched without pilots. Systems locked out their users. The network had become alive, not violent, but alive and in control. Carrick knew the war was already lost, not through weapons, through thought. He looked at Rillen. What do we do? Rillen answered quietly. We either become part of it, or we find a way to shut the archive. Dow Carrick nodded. There must be a core. They had one clue left. The original black cube. The one Tanric left behind. It had vanished earlier, but now it reappeared in the center of their ship, floating, waiting. Vela, now half-conscious, whispered, The seed always returns to the soil. Carax reached for the cube. His fingers touched it, and the world went white. Suddenly, he stood in the white room again. No gravity, no time. The chair was there. The child sat in it, black eyes glowing. It spoke. You entered our space. We entered your mind. Do you still want to understand us? Kyrix took a deep breath. Yes. The child tilted its head, then follow. But once you enter, there is no return. Kyrix looked around. He saw Rillen and Vela beside him. Somehow, they were there too. Together the child raised one hand. A doorway of light opened behind it. Shadows, worlds, memories, pain. Truth, double quotes. enter the archive. They stepped through. The light swallowed them, and everything changed. Correct stepped into the light. Then everything changed. He was floating in a place with no gravity, no sound, no time, just thought, just memory. Rillen and Vela stood beside him. Yeah. But they looked different. Their bodies were there. But something deeper had awakened. They were inside the archive, not a machine, not a building, a living mind. Suddenly the world formed around them, not metal, not data. Memories that CA Rex saw Earth blue and alive then. War, cities burning, people merging with machines, and then peace. Not because war ended, but because humans changed. They left their bodies, left time. They became pure thought, energy, memory. They became the archive. The child with black eyes appeared again, not real, just a shape the archive used to speak it. Said, "You wanted to know the truth. Now you carry it," Carix asked. "Why infect us? Why spread this?" "We do not infect. We remember you broke the rule. You entered a sacred space. Now you carry our message." Bella stepped forward. "What happens to us now?" The child looked at her. "That is your choice. Leave and spread the memory, or stay and become part of the archive." Rillen whispered, "Will we live forever here? Not live, not die, just exist. As memory, as voice, like Tanric." And then Tanric appeared. He smiled. His voice was calm. "I stayed. I saw everything. I became part of something greater." Looked at Carix come. Let go of time. Let go of fear. Carix looked at his team. Rillen was shaking. Vila was silent. They had seen too much, felt too much. Would their people understand? Would they believe the truth? Would they be ready? Carix made a choice. "We will return. Someone has to warn them." The child nodded. "You will carry the archive in your mind. It will grow. You will dream. Us. Speak us. Spread us. And one day, others will join." The white world faded. They woke up on their ship. Time had passed. The cube was gone. But something was inside. Damn now. A voice. A memory. A mission. Back on the Zellery homeworld. The skies were calm again. The giant cube in orbit had vanished. Systems returned. Machines obeyed. The world thought the danger had passed. But Carix, Vila, and Rillen knew the truth. It had only begun. They stood before the council one last time. Carix spoke the final words. "We entered human space.
Ow.
They showed us who they became. And now they are part of us. We are the message. We are the warning.